and I just got done watching Ryan here, and I just got done watching the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega Superspeedway, and I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Let's get to this. This race had a controversial finish, and I don't think that's a stretch to say. I mean, that race, there were definitely some calls I think NASCAR got right. There were some calls I think NASCAR got wrong. There were some that I think were ball and strike calls that really didn't, that probably won't impact all that much, at least not for the circumstances of tonight alone. Now, there are definitely some playoff implications to talk about as well, but I'm just going to get right to this. Matt Dibenedetto getting penalized and Denny Hamlin not. Okay, so Denny Hamlin goes underneath the WL line, which I'll probably do a more in-depth video about whether looking more specifically into the WL line itself in a future video if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, Denny Hamlin gets forced down by Chris Buescher down below the WL line and is able to end up, due to that, getting by Chris Buescher and two other cars to win the race, including William Byron and Matt Dibenedetto. Now, in that same breath, you see Matt Dibenedetto going and kind of pushing on the side of William Byron's car and pushing Byron onto that apron. Now, as soon as they get down there, Dibenedetto is very quick to let off and let Byron have the space that he needs to race. I think that was a more ball and strike call that it can go either way, and it ended up biting Matt Dibenedetto, as he will finish 22nd tonight, I believe, in the official 21st, 22nd, somewhere in there in the official finishing results. So in the end, I mean, those two, they're both out of the playoffs already, so I don't think it makes a big difference there. But the fact that it got called on Dibenedetto, and then you don't see a call on either Hamlin or Chris Buescher, I don't even really care which one at this point, but you don't see a call on either of them, but you call that, and then they also called Chase Elliott for something, which I haven't really seen a great replay of what happened, but apparently Chase Elliott passed Chris Buescher under the line during that final chaotic wreck. I just really don't see a good argument. So that one, really, I guess it could go either way, and that will impact the next week's season, or not season finale, but round ending Charlotte Roval race. But why on earth Denny Hamlin was allowed to make this move when Dibenedetto, who made a mistake and pushed on Byron too hard? I mean, Byron should have won this race. I mean, feel free to argue me on that one, but yeah, there was just a host of penalties thrown, and really, I'm not even sure who, in the end, like, if they did end up calling anything on Byron, if they did end up calling anything on anybody else, but, I mean, there was a whole host of penalties called after this race, and the biggest ones were Dibenedetto getting called, and Hamlin not getting called. And that one, I do not understand how you can call Matt Dibenedetto for that when you aren't going to call Denny Hamlin for passing two cars or 2 to 3 cars while going down below the WL line himself. I mean, how can you do one while blatantly ignoring the other? I mean, I am frustrated by this. I mean, Dibenedetto, I was actually going to make a video on his contract situation, but it was delayed a week, so sorry about that one. I thought the news was going to be coming out Wednesday or Thursday. It didn't end up coming out. But, I mean, I am just so frustrated by this finish. More than I have been by most races this year. The inconsistency. Earlier in the race, we saw, I think it was Logano on Chris Buescher, called for Logano for shoving Chris Buescher below the line during the finish to stage 2, I believe it was. So Logano was declared that he would get no stage points, or something for that finish in the stage ultimately doesn't really affect a whole lot, but in the end, if you're going to be calling penalties like that throughout the race, and they even said it sets a precedent, and they called it on Dibenedetto, but why that call, same exact call, was not made on Denny Hamlin there, I am not really sure on that one. And say a lot of everybody seems to be still trying to figure out and piece together this one. But I mean, it's races like this, like Dale Jr. even mentioned it, that why do we still have this rule if it's just going to cause NASCAR to have to make these ball and strike calls? And all in all, I wouldn't be too upset if they do get rid of it or if they keep it. In the end, I think it would promote more crashing in the middle of the race, but if you have the rule change with 5 to go, that could be confusing for fans in the stands trying to figure it out. It really is just a messy situation. That's why I feel like it being fairly close to black and white like it is now should be the case. Problem is you can't call it one way. Like, if you're going to not call it, just don't call it on anybody at the end there and let them free-for-all it and let them argue it to the ends of the earth. Or call it on the guys that deserve it, Dibenedetto, maybe Byron, definitely Hamlin, and sure, Chase Elliott as well. I mean, I'm sure Chase Elliott's not going to be in a great spot there, but again, it's all about the consistency and why. Why on earth was Dibenedetto penalized and not Hamlin? Oh man, I am just... That finish there, I mean, they won't be done with that for a while on piecing together what on earth happened. But I am honestly very frustrated by this as a fan because I feel like the rule is fairly cut and dry. I feel like it's very simple. And really looking at it, I feel like Buescher never really made contact with Denny to force him below there, so that's why I'm more emphasizing Denny Hamlin being penalized than Chris Buescher. If they had penalized Chris Buescher, though, I would not be making this video as directed at anybody as I am. But this video is definitely going to be very pointed at the finish here. So that's most about the finish, though. I'm going to just really quickly kind of go into the middle to start portion of the race. This race took forever to really get going. I think you had a red flag early in the race for a big wreck, but you also had the first 20 laps, I believe, took like the first hour or took almost an hour to get through 20 laps, and then you had the comp caution. The comp caution really, like, if you get 3 cautions in the first 10 laps, 10, 15 laps, you should just make one of those the comp caution. I mean, to make them wait another 10 laps to wreck for the comp caution just seems like it's an unnecessary thing, especially when you get a race where there's 3 cautions in the first 15 laps. That's kind of another point of frustration from this race. I mean, all in all, this race is just very frustrating as a fan to watch. I mean, it was entertaining once you got through the first 20 laps, I'll be honest. It did get entertaining. You had guys side by side, 3 wide, 4 wide, for the lead, all night long. But in the end, you have to go, and it comes down to, did that finish leave a good taste in my mouth? Not really. Did the start leave a good taste in, say, a casual fan that clicked through at 2 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, clicking through the football game, trying to find the football game they're looking for and seeing a race? Did that entice them to stay? I'm willing to say probably not. It might have gotten them to stay a little longer than they otherwise would have if they were just running single file. But to be on having cautions for slightly minor incidents and making it an hour to get through the first 20 laps, I'm inclined to say that you probably didn't keep most of those casual fans. Now, through the middle of this race, I feel like the hardcore fans that did stay were very much entertained, and the fans in the stands, I think, were very entertained by this. You had Chris Buescher winning his first career stage win. You had in that number 17 car, you had Denny Hamlin getting stage. Actually, did Hamlin get stage 2? I don't know. I'm trying to remember who got stage 2. I think Hamlin might have gotten stage 2, but I don't remember. Late in stage 1, you had a big wreck with Almirola that took Almirola out. That's going to put him in a must-win. That also damaged Bowman and Kyle Busch's cars as well. They then tried to suffer all the way to the finish. Kyle Busch got taken out on one of the last wrecks. Bowman, I think, made it all the way to the end, or might have made it to the final lap wreck. Keselowski got involved in that final lap wreck after being involved in a massive crash around the midway point with Kurt Busch, where Kurt Busch got way up in the air. And really, I think that's a testament to the safety implementations that NASCAR added after Newman's very scary Daytona 500 crash. But man, like I love being like, I know I've been very positive about a lot of things, and I hate to be negative about this, but I mean, this race just left such a bad taste in my mouth because really I feel like it was just a bad call on the Hamlin situation if they were going to call that. I mean, if they wanted to just be like, nope, I'm not going to touch it, I might have been like, that's a questionable call, but then at least you keep the 3-wide drag race for the win. I'm still waiting to find out what happened with Dibenedetto, or what happened with because I thought I saw Jones listed as second on the broadcast after the race. Not really sure what happened there. I mean, it was just a chaotic finish, and really, I mean, there's a good amount of chaos that can be had. I mean, the chaos at the end of that race, 3-wide drag race, kind of like in the spring here, or in July, or in June when we ran this race the first time. Crazy, chaotic, 3-4 wide, guys getting into the wall. No real major airborne thing at the end, so good there. But it was chaotic, and it was good because you got to see at the line who crosses it first. Now, all the fans, Dibenedetto fans, Hamlin fans, Byron fans, Buescher fans, Chase Elliott fans, I think that covers most every fan in NASCAR, to some extent, likes one of those drivers to some serious degree. And you have all those fans either upset, confused, and or mad that what they saw on track didn't really affect it. And to be honest, in a lot of cases, other than Hamlin's, where it really didn't, where it didn't go their way and it didn't make sense. Which really, I mean, that's your two straws for me is, does the penalty make sense, and does the penalty benefit them? At least in terms of, are fans going to get mad over this? And really, unless you're a very big Hamlin fan, I don't see where this penalty really is a good thing to anybody, other than just kind of clearing up that Hamlin's good. But also, it doesn't make sense from any perspective, at least that I can find. I mean, yeah, it's a mess of a finish. And really, I mean, it soured what would have been a fantastic race. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Dibenedetto get his first win of his career. Byron getting another Super Speedway win. That would have been awesome. Denny Hamlin getting a win like that, as long as he played by the rules, would have been awesome. And that I wouldn't have complained at that point. But to have a finish so screwed up because of the decision to start calling some penalties but not finish. I mean, maybe we'll find out in the morning that they do end up penalizing Denny Hamlin for this, but I don't know. So, yeah, I just needed to vent about this to you guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, hit the like button on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'm going to be doing definitely more videos this week. I'm going to do the Benedetto video whenever his plans are officially announced. We got some news about Larson coming. Then we got... I'm going to probably end up doing another video on this finish at least one more time. So, yeah, stay tuned. Notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!